My neighbor, usually so gentle, suddenly tried to kill me. I realized it, grabbed a kitchen knife, and chased him for 8 blocks, until the police officers stepped in and stopped me. But that neighbor, Li Laohe, stood in the crowd like nothing happened, barking at me triumphantly. Now, I'm stuck in an interrogation room being questioned. Tell me, why were you chasing that big black dog? I looked up sharply. I slammed both hands onto the metal table. It was that bastard Li Laohe who started it. I was just acting in self-defense. The short-haired policewoman's facial muscles twitched uncontrollably. So, you're saying the dog named Li Laohe attacked you first, and then you chased it with a knife? No. I shook my head. The policewoman paused for a moment. Didn't you just say Li Laohe started it? Why are you changing your shittery now? That beast Li Laohe wanted to kill me. The bastard had been stalking me for 3 days. I wasn't just going to sit there and wait to die. I've been gutting fish at Changqing Market for 10 years. My eyes are like a ruler. That beast's killing intent couldn't hide from me. Seeing me so agitated and grinding my teeth, the policewoman stood up and shook her head. Then, she knocked on the one-way mirror behind her. Take him for a drug test. 2 hours later, Jiang Pan received my test results. Clean. Jiang Pan sighed. Such a shame for someone so young. Since it's not drug-induced psychosis, it must be a mental illness. Xiao Liang, go call Dr. Lu. Give Yan Yu a psychiatric evaluation. In the interrogation room, Lu Caixing sat down with a gentle smile. I'm Dr. Lu Caixing. I heard Li Laohe wanted to kill you. I nodded, staying silent. Did you have any prior issues with Li Laohe? That beast stole my fish and barked at me. I kicked it a few times, hearing my answer. Lu Caixing looked down and scribbled something in her notebook. Auditory hallucinations or antisocial personality disorder. So, besides Li Laohe, were there any other dogs trying to kill you? Did you kill them? No. Lu Caixing nodded. Combined with my family background, she reached a conclusion. I was likely trying to achieve psychological self-reinforcement by slaughtering animals. A classic sign of antisocial personality disorder. Though, the part about the dog barking at you is quite unique. Alright, take a look at this treatment agreement. If you're willing, sign it and you can go. Lu Caixing handed a document to me. 10 minutes later, I put down the contract. 2 counseling sessions a week. I have no objections, but move the Friday one to Wednesday. My fish stall is busy on Fridays. Lu Caixing frowned slightly and wrote in her notebook, putting a big question mark after antisocial personality disorder. Normally, patients with antisocial personality disorder are quite paranoid, self-centered and resistant to other suggestions. But whether it was the counseling or the scheduling, I showed no resistance at all. Is it just schizophrenia? Doesn't seem right. My thinking is coherent, and my logic is self-consistent. Doesn't fit the typical symptoms of schizophrenia. Strange guy. Just then, the interrogation room door opened. Jiang Pan came in and took off my handcuffs. She gave me a few verbal warnings. I accepted all of them without complaint. By the way, just curious, as I reached the door of the interrogation room, Lu Caixing spoke up again. You said Li Laohe barked at you. What exactly did he say? After a few seconds of silence, I turned back. A grotesque smile appeared on my face. Yes, night had fallen. At the bus stop across from the police station, I carried a red plastic bag. My eyes cast downward. A muffled, provocative growl reached my ears. I whipped my head toward the alley behind me. In the dim light, a black dog stood silently. Its fierce eyes were locked onto me. Its mouth was half open, revealing sharp fangs. Man and dog stared at each other for a few seconds. The black dog slowly backed away. I gripped the handle of the kitchen knife inside the plastic bag. Screw you. The next moment, I bolted into the alley. The alley was deep and narrowed as I went in. Visibility dropped lower and lower. At the end of the alley was an iron gate, nearly 3 meters high, shut tight. The black dog sat before the gate, its black fur blending into the night. Only its eyes reflected a chilling red light. I tore open the plastic bag, left hand holding the slicing knife, right hand holding the bone chopper. Screw your mother, Li Laohe, you want me dead? Huh? Come on. Today it's either you die or I do. I had just finished my threat when the black dog lunged at me. It growled and charged forward. It leaped at me from 4 or 5 meters away. The black dog transformed in an instant. I raised my left arm to meet its jaws. The sharp fangs easily pierced the skin of my arm. I didn't care about the pain at all. I dropped my arm, dragging the dog down, and swung the bone chopper at its head. A dull, heavy thud echoed. The intense recoil nearly sent the chopper flying. Damn it! I roared. My left hand twisted, gripping the fur on the dog's neck. My right hand swung high again. The continuous sound of heavy blows echoed through the alley. I didn't know how many times I'd hacked it. By the end, my entire right arm was numb. Only when I felt Li Laohe stop struggling did I land another 15 or 16 blows before stopping. The heavy bone chopper was completely ruined. The blade was full of curls and chips. This beast definitely isn't normal. I looked down at the lifeless Li Laohe. What kind of dog has a head this hard? It took over 100 strikes to finally break my heirloom chopper. Normally, 1 strike could split a cow's skull in half. I rested for half a minute. I pulled out my phone and dialed a number. Hello, 3rd hospital? Can I get a rabies shot? 5 minutes after I left the alley, 2 dark figures leaped over the iron gate. Seeing the dead black dog, both frowned. Soon, one of them pulled out a strange handheld device, and it began to beep as it scanned. Subject 81, born in Tianping City. CSWA status, dead. Pollution status, not spread. Pollution source lost. Identifying host signature. Starting trace. 2nd floor of the handsome fish stall, Changqing Market. I looked at my gauze-wrapped left arm, my face darker than Li Laohe's fur. The doctor at the 3rd hospital just told me the wound couldn't touch water for 15 days. As the fastest fish slayer in Changqing Market, the guy who cleans fish the cleanest. If I can't touch water for 15 days, what's the point? All Li Laohe's fault, damn it. I cursed again. After cursing, my eyes narrowed. I was certain something was wrong with this world. About half a month ago, I bought a batch of black carp. One of them was exceptionally large. It even drew a crowd at the market. Of course, that wasn't the point. The point was that I spent a whole hour killing that fish. As the most senior fish slayer in Changqing Market, I had absolute confidence in my skills. No fish had ever lasted more than 3 minutes in my hands. I'd even slaughtered a 5 to 6 meter saltwater crocodile. Once tied up, I could finish the job in 2 minutes. Usually, for black carp, I pull it out of the basin, grab the chopper, 1 strike to the back of the head, and then gut it. But that fish's skull was incredibly hard. I struck it 10 times, and it was still jumping around. After that, I tried various methods. Using the chopper to hack the skin directly. It was so tough I couldn't even leave a scratch. I poured 100 degrees Celsius boiling water on it, and it didn't even flinch. I even took a steel needle to poke the fish's vent. It took 20 minutes to find the spot, but the needle only went in a millimeter. Before the fish flicked its tail and bent the needle. Looking at the bent needle in my hand, I felt completely numb. Finally, I set aside my pride as a fish slayer, took the fish to the rooftop, and invoked the laws of nature. According to the law of free fall and Newton's second law, I concluded when the black carp hit the ground from the 60-meter rooftop, the impact force was roughly 20 degrees? The big black cart finally couldn't handle the impact. It bled out and died. So, is this weirdness being transferred to me now? I lifted my shirt. There were 2 black rings tattooed on my chest. I remembered there was only 1 ring after killing the cart. Today, after killing Li Laohei, it became 2. Though the marks didn't hurt or itch. I knew this thing was affecting me. First, my strength had increased significantly. Otherwise, I couldn't have held Li Laohei with 1 hand today. Second, my pain threshold had increased. My arm was bitten through by Li Laohei, and I didn't feel much pain at all. Even when the doctor at the 3rd hospital treated the wound, the hydrogen peroxide only felt like a slight tingle. Finally, my reflexes and senses. There were a lot of mosquitoes in the room during summer. I used to just use mosquito coils, but now I can track them by sound and kill them with 1 strike. Whatever, I'll deal with it later. Time to sleep. I shook my head. There was nothing I could do about these strange changes. Beep, 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 beep. I had just laid down when I heard a series of electronic beeps outside. I didn't care and kept my eyes closed to sleep. It's here. Why isn't the handsome fish stall showing any pollution levels? Strange. Scan it again. Downstairs, 2 figures talked for a moment before fiddling with their device again. Soon, another series of electronic beeps sounded. Still no pollution levels, but I'm certain, subject 81, born, the Siasui pollution source signature. It's definitely this location. Bang. The 2nd floor window was slammed open. I poked my head out. My wide eyes quickly locking onto the 2 people downstairs. Damn it. What are you lunatics doing in the middle of the night? Can't you stop with the beeping? Get lost. I unleashed a torrent of curses. The 2 didn't respond to me immediately, but stared intensely at their device. Soon, the beeping stopped. Pollution level still undetected. What do we do? Should we intervene? Let's observe a bit more. After they finished speaking, they quickly vanished into the night. As they left, I closed the window and laid back down on the bed. Only now, all sleepiness was gone. Siasui pollution. Sure enough. Lu Caixing still couldn't let me go. She'd been practicing for 5 or 6 years, but a case like mine was a first. The symptoms were chaotic and contradictory. After returning home, she checked many domestic and international cases and had a preliminary idea. I might have a split personality, and the secondary personality suffers from antisocial personality disorder. The condition was special and the situation complex. So, the next morning, she went to Chongqing Market. She had to keep an eye on my state. Once my secondary personality completed self-reinforcement through violence, the danger level would skyrocket. If necessary, she'd have to send me to a mental hospital today for systematic treatment. On the 2nd floor, Lu Caixing looked at the post-apocalyptic sky room, her mind blank for a moment. Dr. Lu, sit. I greeted her. Oh cool. After Lu Caixing answered, she couldn't find a chair. So, where should I sit? Sit on the bed. Lie me. Curtains drawn in broad daylight. A man and a woman sitting on a bed. Nobody would believe this was psychological counseling. Physiological counseling would be more light. I'll just stand. Lu Caixing waved her hand with a smile. Dr. Lu, do you look down on me too? I narrowed my eyes, my tone turning cold. The next second, Lu Caixing sat down beside me very obediently. Whatever, don't provoke the lunatic. Yin, what happened to the wound on your arm? After sitting down, Lu Caixing began to ask, but she didn't dare turn to look at me. The bed was too small, and we were too close. The atmosphere was awkward. Lu Caixing waited a few seconds but didn't get a response. After you left the police station last night, did you go to kill Li Laohei? Lu Caixing threw out another question. After still hearing no response from me, Lu Caixing couldn't help but turn her head. My head was almost pressed against her. I was sniffing her. My expression, wanton and pathological. Lu Caixing was so scared her legs went weak. She wanted to run, but her body wouldn't listen. Yen, you, calm down, don't do anything crazy. On the bed, my eyes flickered. I didn't know what had happened just now. My mind had lost control for a moment, and my body had moved toward Lu Caixing on its own. There seemed to be a strange attraction about Lu Caixing that was frantically hooking into something inside me. Rip. The next second, I tore open my vest. The 2 black rings on my chest seemed to come alive, crawling and slithering under my skin, as if they were about to burst out. Lu Caixing screamed in terror. Energy dissipation. Move. Under the window, 2 figures leaped up almost simultaneously. They jumped onto the nearly 4-meter-high windowsill. The half-open window was smashed inward. The 2 landed in the room. Lu Caixing's scream came to an abrupt halt, looking at the 2 who had suddenly broken in, then looking at me. Her mind was a mess. What is going on here? Are they Yen Yu's accomplices? They had jumped through the window, so she figured their mental state wasn't very normal either. Great. 3 lunatics. Yen Yu. Lu Caixing was about to persuade them when one of the 2 suddenly stepped forward and chopped at her neck. Lu Caixing's eyes rolled back, and she collapsed, unconscious. Done. The 2 turned their attention to me. Seeing me still sitting on the bed, calm and collected, they looked a bit surprised. Whoa, kid, your mental fortitude is pretty strong. The order from above is to recruit or eliminate, but they had just felt the energy dissipation. The next step after energy dissipation is a pollution outbreak, so they had no choice but to choose the latter. Don't worry, we're professionals. It'll be fast. You won't feel any pain. One of them pulled a metal syringe from his clothes. The corners of my mouth curled up abruptly. Coincidentally, I'm a professional too. As I said that, the sound of something snapping echoed. Then, a thick hemp rope net fell from the ceiling. The moment the net covered them, I lunged from the bed, grabbing the propane tank in the room with one hand and pulling out a lighter with the other. Don't move, or we all die together. Under the hemp net, the 2, who were about to break free, froze. They weren't afraid of being blown up. The explosive power of the small propane tank wasn't enough to kill them. They were mostly afraid of involving Lu Caixing. During a mission, causing injury or death to innocent civilians would likely lead to them being held accountable. Damn, this kid is truly vicious. What kind of normal person keeps traps set up in their home? Now, I ask, you answer. I raised an eyebrow at them. The 2 exchanged a glance and nodded. What are your names? Gukong? Guping? Oh, brothers, huh? I curled my lip. They didn't deny or confirm it, sticking to answering without explaining. Let's continue. I didn't care. So, what exactly is the Siasui? Under the net, Gukong and Guping had their eyes wide open. How do you know about that? A few seconds later, Gukong asked in a deep voice. They had conducted a thorough investigation on me. Logically, I shouldn't have known about these things. Had someone contacted me without their knowledge? The Witness Liaison Society or the Deep Blue Library? You 2 said it under my window last night. What? You forgot? Gukong and Guping were both stunned. They had indeed talked under the fish stall last night, but their voices were very low. Normally, it should have been impossible to hear. What's more, when they were talking last night, my window was closed. Unless my hearing had been enhanced. That shouldn't be. He just absorbed the Subject 81 newborn Siasui reinforcement last night. It shouldn't have manifested so quickly. Besides, the path of Subject 81 isn't sensory enhancement. Damn. Why is this kid so eerie? Alright, it's a deal. I ask, you answer. Go on. What exactly is a CSWA? I repeated the question from before. After a few seconds of silence, Gukong pulled the strange device from his pocket. Director, Gukong shouted at the device. Det, I'm here. A female voice sounded from the device. Explain what a CSWA is. 27 years ago, dark matter energy from white dwarf F39 collided with blue star. Since then, dark matter mutations have occurred frequently. Dark matter clusters enter biological bodies in the form of energy, granting them supernatural or unconventional abilities. According to the International X03 Special Agreement Draft, we call these organisms invaded by dark matter energy CSWA. I pursed my lips. Hey, this thing is pretty smart. Then what is pollution? Director, explain pollution. Gukong asked the device again. After dark matter energy invades an organism, besides gaining supernatural or unconventional abilities, it also produces a certain unknowable and invisible negative dissipation. Negative dissipation is also called pollution dissipation. Once it exceeds safe levels, it causes irreversible, bizarre harm to oneself and others. We call this excessive negative dissipation pollution. I nodded thoughtfully. So that's it. That black carp and Li Lohe must have both been CSWA invaded by dark matter. I killed the carp and Li Lohe, so the dark matter on them was transferred to me. That's why my body was reinforced and why I produced negative dissipation. So, has my pollution dissipation exceeded the safe level? Is that why you came to eliminate me? I asked again. Gukong and Guping began to blink. You don't have any pollution dissipation levels. We scanned you all night and didn't find anything. And didn't you hear our conversation last night? You should know everything. Why ask if you know? We just felt the energy dissipation. Generally, after energy dissipation, the pollution level skyrockets. That's why we decided to act. Gukong explained roughly. They were actually more inclined to recruit me at first. After all, more people means more strength. In recent years, there have been more and more newborn CSWA, and the Bureau is too busy to handle it. So you aren't even sure if my pollution dissipation level is over the limit? I narrowed my eyes. Based on our experience, don't tell me about that. I'm asking if my pollution dissipation level is over the limit. The two pursed their lips, not answering. I roared, pressing the lighter in my hand even deeper. No, it's not over the limit. Don't get excited. Gukong immediately appeased me. Getting the answer. The anger on my face vanished instantly. Then, I smiled and pulled out my phone, playing the recording of our conversation. Gukong and Guping were dumbfounded. Damn, this kid can still calmly dig a hole at a time like this? So cunning. I love it. So I'm not over the limit, and you were going to kill me? That shouldn't be according to the rules, right? I raised an eyebrow. See, what do you want? Gukong asked. I didn't stall and stated my intention directly. First, help me finish the paperwork to join you. Once we're colleagues, it wouldn't be polite for you to kill me, right? We can't do that. Gukong shook his head. I didn't waste words, turning the valve of the propane tank to the maximum. Then let's add our blades. While you can't process it directly, you can recommend us. Help me recommend it. Gukong shouted immediately. Oh cool. Recommend it now. Thanks. My tone was calm. A smile on my face, slightly grateful. The muscles on Gukong and Guping's faces twitched. Damn, this kid is truly a lunatic. Always choosing to go out in a blaze of glory. 2 minutes later, Gukong turned the device screen toward me. Recommended. Done. ID 721. You can go to Longyan building at 10 a.m. this Saturday for the exam. I checked it carefully. It should be fine. All the necessary information was there. The header of the electronic application form was the Shinsui Bureau, and there was even an electronic official seal at the bottom. It looked quite formal. Can you turn off the propane tank now? Gukong asked. I shook my head. That matter is settled. But what about you knocking out my girlfriend? Gukong and Guping were both stunned. Since when was Loot Saixing your girlfriend? Yenyu, I'm telling you, don't go too far. Guping was a bit agitated. This kid was too shameless. Saixing, are you my girlfriend? I looked at Loot Saixing, who was still unconscious on the bed. Look, she's silent, so she agrees. Damn it. Gukong and Guping cursed in unison. Lend me your strength for 3 days, and I'll pretend nothing happened. In your dreams, can I report you guys for the Saturday exam? Here, take this. After explaining how to use the device, Gukong and Guping left. As for whether my pollution levels would spike, they weren't worried anymore. Normally, after an energy burst, within 12 minutes at most, pollution levels would dissipate. But I didn't even need to tat. High pollution always comes with emotional loss and dark matter shedding, and I'm perfectly stable. It was already evening when Loot Saixing woke up. Whoa, young people really do sleep well. I'll lie a light for 10 hours straight. I stood by the window, bowl of beef noodles in hand. Hearing the noise, Loot Saixing's groggy brain snapped to alertness. She bolted up from the bed, then grabbed the quilt to cover her chest. Looking terrified and furious, she glared. What did you do to me? This is a crime. I rolled my eyes at her and went back to my noodles. You're a police-hired psychologist, aren't you? Why are you so jumpy and clutching that quilt like that? You're fully dressed. You know, can't you feel it at all? Alright, enough with the noise. Go home now that you're up. Loot Saixing had been out for the whole day, and I didn't even get a nap. Loot Saixing cleared her head a bit, took a deep breath, and prepared to get up. I should definitely leave, to prevent him from powering up again, but not to go home. I need to go to the station to secure evidence. If Yenyu did anything, there would surely be traces left on me. Thump. As soon as she stepped down, her legs gave out and she hit the floor. I stared, confused. Is this how polite psychologists are now? Kneeling to say goodbye after a session? What's wrong with my legs? Did you drug me? Loot Saixing looked awful, and I was stunned. Drug you? My ass. Gukong chopped you out, remember? As for your legs, well, why would you be weak after sleeping all day? My eyes landed on the gas canister. When I opened the valve to threaten them earlier, the nozzle was pointed right at the bed. I muttered, why did she sleep so long? Turns out she inhaled too much gas. Yenyu, you bastard, if I don't put you in prison. I'm not. While I was lost in thought, Loot Saixing stumbled to the door. She threw a threat over her shoulder and ran. I curled my lip and pulled the device from my pocket. The screen displayed a few lines of data. Type, unknown, pollution, contained, source, not detected. 7. Not bad, Dr. Liu. I smirked. When we were sitting on the bed earlier, I felt a strong pull from her. Based on my research this afternoon, a situation like hers, no source detected, but with pollution levels, is actually common. It means she had recent contact with a CSWA. Looks like I'll have to stake out tonight. As for Loot Saixing, I actually quite like her. If I can help, I should. After all, she doesn't have much time left. A pollution level of 7 is quite high. Once it crosses the threshold, she's basically done for. You bastard. You animal. District Police Station. Loot Saixing stormed in, cursing. Saixing, what's wrong? Jiangpan stood up. She immediately rose from her desk. Loot Saixing's eyes turned red, but she held back the tears. Officer Jiang, get me 2 female colleagues from admin, and call forensic Dr. Du. She walked straight into the infirmary. After a 2-second pause, Jiangpan's face turned grim. Female colleagues, a male forensic doctor. Combined with her pale face and unsteady gait. Damn it, Jiangpan cursed through gritted teeth. She started arranging things. Half an hour later, Loot Saixing stepped off the exam table. She got dressed. Dr. Du, how is it? How is what? Uncle Du looked at her, confused. Did you find any evidence? I think I was assaulted. Uncle Du rolled his eyes. Assaulted? What are you talking about? Forensic Dr. Du, as expected. His explanations are always blunt. What if it happened somewhere else? Lu Cixing took a deep breath, questioning him. Who knows what that bastard did to me? It could be anywhere. We checked everything. No tearing, no damage to the oral mucosa. Of course, if the guy was as thin as a needle, then I guess my career is over. The atmosphere in the room grew awkward. The two girls from admin were blushing, wanting to laugh but not daring to. After all, Officer Jian was there. Enough. Are you trying to say why you're dizzy and weak and aching all over? Lu Cixing nodded immediately. Mild carbon monoxide poisoning. Lu Cixing was stunned. Yan Yu, that psycho, while I was unconscious, stuck a gas pipe in my mouth. I used the device to find Lu Cixing's home. I have to say, the Bureau's gear is really useful. After recording her pollution signature, I could track her location directly. Leader, track the pollution level. At her door, I held up the device. After a few beeps, it finished. Type, unknown. Pollution, contained. Source, detected. Current level, 9. Damn. Seeing source detected on the screen, I couldn't help but curse. The Xiaswei is right in her house. How do I handle this? If I don't fix it tonight, she's definitely going to be finished by morning. It was 7 before. Now it's already 9 in just a few hours. Forget it. Just go for it. I took a deep breath and not. Who is it? A voice came from inside. Your neighbor. There's dog poop at your door. I thought for a few seconds before shouting. After waiting about 7 or 8 seconds, Lu Cixing poked her head out. I don't even have a dog. Where did? Before she could finish, I grabbed her head with one hand and shoved her back inside. I was stunned as soon as I entered. This is the entryway? Good grief. It's bigger than my place. Rich girl. I curled my lip. I didn't expect her to be so wealthy. This flat is at least 250 square meters. At Tianping city prices, it's worth over 4 million. Yan Yu, what are you doing? Shut your mouth. I pushed her aside and walked straight in. Lu Cixing didn't follow. She immediately changed her shoes and kept a hand on the doorknob. If I showed any aggression, she'd bolt immediately. I ignored her and started searching every room. Lu Cixing was full of questions. What is this psycho looking for in my house? Hey, where's your pet? I stopped and roared at her by the door. The pollution level on the device kept rising. It was 9 before. Now it's 9.1. I don't have a pet. Yan Yu, calm down. I frowned. No pet? Then where is this pollution coming from? Leader, can you pinpoint the source? I asked. The screen jumped to a Gemli interface. I'm the green nut, and to my front right, a red dot is flashing. I rushed to the balcony. The moment I reached it, the dots overlapped on the screen. I scanned the balcony. No sign of any animal. Besides a rocking chair, there were only a few potted plants. Plants? My eyes widened. My gaze fell on the tall lemon tree. Usually, Xiaswei are animals, but sometimes dark matter invades plants, forming plant-type Xiaswei. Compared to animal types, plant-type Xiaswei are better at hiding. Of course, they're less aggressive, especially newborn ones. They basically have no aggression. Looking at her pollution levels, this lemon tree is 90% likely a newborn. I rushed to the tree and grabbed the pot. The moment I lifted it, I felt a faint stinging in my palm. Damn it, behave, or I'll chop you up. I pulled out my family's bone-chopping knife. The faint stinging vanished instantly. Smart choice, I hummed. In the entryway, Lu Cixing gasped. Yan Yu, his condition is way too serious. First he heard a dog cursing him. Now he's fighting with a tree. Seeing me holding a knife to the trunk, telling the tree to behave, her anger towards me faded. Yan Yu, she's so pitiful. Her father died when she was born, and her mother remarried when she was 2, leaving her with her 12-year-old sister. But misfortune always strikes the poor. Bad luck only finds the miserable. Yan Yu, her sister disappeared when she was 7. Now she's suffering from mental illness too. Sigh. Yan Yu, get out of the way. I had already rushed over and shoved her aside again. This lemon tree is trouble. I'm taking it. Don't thank me. I shouted and left with the tree, watching the elevator descend. Lu Cixing sighed softly. Then, as if she'd made a decision, her eyes turned firm. Don't worry, Yan Yu, I'll definitely cure you. I didn't dare take a car and carried the tree all the way back to the market. I looked at the tree, which was as tall as me, and pulled out the device again. Leader, track the pollution source. After a few beeps, it showed the result. Source, unknown, Tianping 081, unknown. 3 sources. The first one was the black fish I killed first. Tianping 081 is Oli. The third unknown is this lemon tree. Track my pollution level again. A few seconds later, it was done. Pollution, not detected. I raised an eyebrow. My guess was right. My body has high resistance to pollution. At least these newborn Xiaswei can't affect me. Is it related to this thing? I looked at my chest. I've asked. After killing a Xiaswei and containing it, the body shouldn't show black markings. This thing is clearly unique to me. As for why, I don't know. The device can't give me an answer. Leader, what's the use of plant Xiaswei? I picked up my knife and asked the device. If it's useless, I'm going to chop it. Even if it's not aggressive, it's still a Xiaswei. The longer it stays, the wider the pollution. I don't want the whole market to be ruined. Plant-type newborns are usually not aggressive. They can be specially cultivated to periodically extract dark matter to enhance your own abilities, or you can trade them to the Bureau for merit. I put the knife down. It's actually a good thing. I'll take it to the exam on Saturday and see what I can trade it for. Yan Yu was stopped by the security at Longyang Tower. I'm here for the exam, I explained. Do I look like a fool to you? The guard rolled his eyes. Who comes to an interview carrying a tree? I stepped forward, looked around twice, and leaned into his ear. I'm here for the Bureau. My interview number is 721. The guard's face twitched. He pulled out his walkie-talkie. Hey, this is the lobby. Send backup. We've got a psycho here. Did Gu Kong and Gu Ping play me? That shouldn't be. I checked my application on the device last night. The time and address were correct. Soon, 2 guards ran out of the elevator. Seeing their faces, my heart skipped a beat. Gu Kong and Gu Ping. Brother Kong, Brother Ping, it's this kid. He brought a tree to an interview. Got it. Leave it to us. Let's go. They didn't waste any words and grabbed me, dragging me into the elevator. In the elevator, I looked left and right. Is the Bureau really this low class? Just being guards? They both sighed. All jobs are equal, Gukong said, looking serious. Base salary of 20,000, plus commission. Gu Ping added, his tone flat. I put down the tree. Are you guys still hiring? 20,000 base plus commission? That's way more than selling fish at the market. At the fish stall, 30 days a month. No days off. After all the costs, the net profit is only about 10,000. Being a guard is great AC in summer, heat in winter, and weekends off. Why are you still selling fish? Isn't it better to run your own shop? You can rest whenever you want and open whenever you feel like it. But we have to be at work by 8:30 a.m. and we don't get off until 5:30 p.m. We have no time for ourselves. Listening to them complain, my brow twitched. Are you guys even human? By 8:30 a.m. I've already sold half my fish. The old ladies don't sleep much. They come at 6 a.m. I can't close until 8:30 p.m. because you office workers only get off at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock. You only come to the market after work. By the way, Yenyu, what's with the tree? Seeing my face, Gukong changed the subject. Trading it. Trading what? Doesn't the bureau trade CSWay for merit or items? That's true, but wait, is that tree a CSWay? They were stunned. They frantically pressed the door button. Yenyu, are you a psycho? Running around with a CSWay? Are you human? Where's your device? Track the pollution level, fast. They scrambled to work the device. It finished quickly. Damn, my pollution went up by 0.2. Mine too, 0.2. Damn, this month's work was for nothing. Even though containment agents have higher resistance, our daily work involves dealing with CSWay, so the risk of pollution is high. To keep levels below the safety line, we have to pay for the bureau's expensive cleaning, and those services are super pricey. Are you guys just weak? I pursed my lips. It went up 0.2 just in the elevator. Come to think of it, Loot Seixing is truly gifted. Living with a tree and not crossing the safety line? If I had the chance, I should recruit her. Maybe she could even shield me from disaster. After all, this job is dangerous, right? Weak? Your grandpa. Gu Ping called the logistics team. Got it. The elevator ran for about 2 minutes. It wasn't going up, but down. Clearly, the bureau is hidden under the tower. The doors opened, and there was a crowd outside. Before I could even step out, a small figure rushed in and started poking at the tree. It really is a plant CSWay and an unknown newborn type. This research is going to be a success. I finally saw the girl. She was about 1.5 meters tall, thin, with thick glasses on her nose, giving off a mad scientist vibe. Her skin was very white, but not a healthy glow, more like the pallor of someone who never sees the sun. Handsome. I'll take this tree. Do you want merit points or items? I can offer 800 merit. For items, you can pick any good grade object. The girl looked at me, speaking fast. Gukong and Gu Ping's eyes almost popped out. 800 merit? A good grade object? Damn, they've worked here for 8 years, and they haven't even saved that much. As for good grade objects, they only see those in their dreams. Wait a second. I thought for 2 seconds and pulled out my device. Xiaoju, list all the grade objects. Sorted by price from high to low. The search was fast. It showed 121 items. This one. I pointed at the top-ranked item. Don't you want to feel it? Is this object not suitable for you? The girl blinked at me. It's suitable. I didn't even look. The more expensive, the more suitable. Fine. You guys, go to the vault. Take copy 01 and give it to him. 5 minutes later, I received a metal box. Remember to find me if you have more good stuff. She grabbed the tree and ran off. So fast she left a blur. After she left, the crowd started the decontamination process. They used various cleaning devices and decontaminated the elevator twice. What are you guys doing? Let's go. Take me to the exam. We're going to be late. I waved at them. Their faces twitched uncontrollably. Exam? You're holding a good grade object. What kind of exam do you need? Even if you fail everything, the bureau will still keep you. But the process still has to be followed. The exam is basically a full physical. The device can't detect your pollution, so there has to be an explanation. Gukong pointed the way. After a few steps, I patted Gukong on the shoulder. Brother Kong, let me ask you something. Hearing me call him Brother Kong, he felt pretty good. The kid is a psycho, but he's polite. What is an object? What is this B01? Why is it just a big eyeball? Do I eat it directly? Do I swallow it like a fisheye? Gukong and Gu Ping, who were walking ahead, stopped dead in their tracks and turned around, terrified. The metal box containing B01 was already open. I was holding an eyeball. Eerie and sinister. The veins attached to it were still pulsing. Yenyu, you bastard. Did we dig up your ancestors in our past life? What are you waiting for? Put it back. Living hell. They scrambled. How many locked B01 back into the box? My pollution went up 0.5. Mine's 0.6. I'm dying. I'm going to be broke this month. They held their devices, tears welling up in their eyes. The bureau's cleaning service costs 20,000 for every 0.1 unit of pollution. From the time I entered the elevator, it's only been 15 minutes. And they've already spent over 100,000. Who can afford this? Go yourself. Go to the end, turn left, then go to the end, and you're there. My mother is giving birth. I'm leaving. Gukong turned and ran. I looked at Gu Ping. Brother Kong, my mother is also my mother. I have to be there when she gives birth. See ya. I really didn't know what an object was. I was going to ask the device, but since they were there, I figured I'd ask them. Just ask them. Who knew those two would react so strongly? Talking about pollution levels rising by 0.5 or 0.6 and saying, my mom is going to have a B-by. You two are already in your 30s. Your mom must be at least 60, right? Brother, he's so tough. Yenyu couldn't help but exclaim in admiration. After sighing, Yenyu pulled out the Xiaoju instrument. Xiaoju, explain the still life objects and tell me how to use them. 2. The instrument beeped for a few seconds before explaining. Still life objects are produced after a normal level or higher entity dies. They are extremely rare and come in all shapes. Each has its own unique effect. So far, no two identical objects have been found. After a brief pause, the instrument's voice sounded again. Every object has its own specific containment conditions. The lower the grade, the simpler the conditions and the lower the cost. Special note, please try to choose objects with known containment conditions. The unknown is always accompanied by death. Yenyu raised an eyebrow. What are the containment conditions for the spirit eye object? B01 is produced by the good level entity Mockingbird. Current containment count, 0. Containment conditions unknown. Failure cost 12 units of pollution. Seeing the failure cost, Yenyu couldn't help but gasp. Damn, no wonder nobody wants to contain it. Who the hell would dare? When your pollution level is near the safety limit, a failure adds 12 units instantly. Wait, Yenyu's eyes suddenly lit up. Others fear their pollution level skyrocketing, but he doesn't really need to worry about that. So far, he has contained 2 pollution sources, the blackfish, the river, and old hay. Besides that, he spent 2 days with a lemon tree, yet his pollution level remains at 0. The instrument can't detect it, so it's as if he has none. Makes sense. So, let's just do it. Yenyu opened the metal box again. He grabbed the giant eyeball and shoved it into his mouth. He swallowed it whole. 2 seconds later, Yenyu felt a wave of nausea. The giant eyeball felt like it had come to life, churning inside his stomach. Then, a powerful force surged up, stretching his esophagus. Gulp! The eyeball shot out of Yenyu's mouth, landing back in his palm. Now, the eyeball scara was covered in gastric juices, along with the chives Yenyu had for breakfast. The black pupil shot out a terrifying, murderous glare. Wow, how magical. Feeling the hatred radiating from the eyeball, Yenyu felt even more energized. Xiaoju, track my pollution level. Yenyu pulled out the instrument. Current pollution level, not detected. Yenyu grinned. Slap. He shoved the eyeball back into his mouth. 30 seconds later, HRRK, he spat it out again. You black bastard. I don't believe this. Yenyu didn't even care about the disgust. He didn't wipe it and kept swallowing. After 7 or 8 times, Yenyu clearly felt the emotion from the eyeball change. It shifted from hatred to despair and sorrow. At the same time, the resistance in his stomach grew much weaker. 10 more times and it'll definitely work. Yenyu looked at the eyeball he just spat out again, feeling confident. Just as he finished speaking, the eyeball's scara and pupil suddenly contracted. Fear spread quickly. The next second, the eyeball bounced out of Yenyu's palm. It hovered at the height of his brow. Then the whole eyeball suddenly disintegrated. It turned into an indescribable energy and crashed into Yenyu's forehead. Yenyu blinked twice. Then the corners of his mouth curled up. So it wasn't meant to be swallowed. You could have told me sooner. It's a good thing the eyeball didn't have a mouth. Otherwise it would have cursed at me all night. 10 minutes later, Yenyu found the place. It was a huge room, square and completely empty. Gray walls, solemn and oppressive. Except for a few strange instruments in the room. There was no decoration. People were gathered around each instrument. This must be it. Yenyu wasn't entirely sure. Hey, here for the assessment? A voice rang out. Yenyu turned to look at the speaker. It was a young man about his age, wearing a black suit and rimless glasses on the bridge of his nose. He looked refined and pretentious. Following the young man was a girl of about 18 or 19, in a black dress with a long ponytail. Her gaze was cold, but her legs were incredibly long. Yeah, Yenyu nodded. This is the place. Everyone in the room must be here for the tet. We're 1 person short. Want to team up? The pretentious guy extended an invitation. Yenyu felt a moment of confusion. Do you need a Tim for an interview? But thinking about the uniqueness of the bureau, that doubt was immediately cast aside. Sure, let's do it. Yenyu nodded with a smile. The pretentious guy and the CU girl looked calm and composed. They must have taken this tet before. Hearing Yenyu agree, the pretentious guy's face lit up with a bright smile. Don't worry, stick with us and we'll be fine. By the way, I'm Mei Yueteng. This is my sister, Mei Yueshuang. My sister doesn't talk much. Mei Yueshuang. Name. I'm Yenyu. Since they'd introduced themselves, Yenyu gave his own introduction. Let's get started then. Mei Yueteng threw an arm around Yenyu's shoulder, and they walked toward the instrument. Everyone else in the room looked up now, casting their gazes over. Some wanted to say something but stopped. Some shook their heads inside, and others sneered repeatedly. Feeling these messy emotions, Yenyu couldn't help but gasp. Is this what the workplace is like? Just like in the TV shows. Not even hired yet, and the backstabbing has already begun. Shuang, start the instrument. Mei Yueshuang nodded, then reached out and operated the machine. Encoding confirmed. Anchor point locked. Dark matter distortion field activated. Please enter within 5 seconds. After a series of mechanical sounds, the air in front of the instrument began to distort eerily. Mei Yueshuang stepped in, and her figure vanished instantly. Yenyu's mouth formed an O shape. As expected of the bureau, truly high-tech. Hearing Mei Yueteng's voice, Yenyu didn't think twice, and instinctively stepped into the distortion. Soon, all 3 disappeared, and the distortion field closed. The chatter in the room started up again. Another bunch of suckers. You said it. Can anything good come from teaming up with those 2 siblings? Mei Yueteng and Mei Yueshuang are just 2 lunatics. If I'm not mistaken, this is their 7th time entering the dark space. Yeah, in the previous 6 times, 3 teammates died and 2 were crippled, and 1 had a full-blown pollution outbreak. But come to think of it, has anyone seen that guy named Yenyu? Where did that guy Yenyu go? Don't they know the interview has started? Bureau cafeteria. A roar came through Gu Kang's phone. Gu Kang and Gu Ping were both losing their minds. What the hell is Yenyu trying to do? He comes to the bureau on his first day and wrecks tens of thousands. That's fine, but now he's gone missing too? We gave him directions. Just walk to the end and turn left, then walk again. Is that hard? Is it? Damn it. We should have let the kid light the gas cylinder. Should have just let him blow himself up. Brother Kong, what do we do now? What can we do? Go find him. 10 minutes later, the 2 found Yenyu on the surveillance cameras. In front of the monitor. Gu Kang and Gu Ping fell into silence. So, Yenyu went to the assessment room? Is the tet and the assessment that similar? I guess they are. Of course, the names sound similar, but the functions are totally different. The bureau's tet is just an interview and trek up for newcomers, focused on being safe and easy. As for the assessment, that's a pure unadulterated nightmare. 27 years ago, the dark matter riots haven't stopped for a single day. Although most dark matter riots invade living bodies, forming various entities, there are always exceptions. In some special places, dark matter spaces are formed. These spaces cannot be entered through normal means, only by anchoring and teleporting through special instruments. As for what's inside those spaces, various powerful entities and the lives of those who lost them. Soon, Gu Kang and Gu Ping arrived at the assessment room. They scanned the area quickly, but didn't see Yenyu anywhere. Where did that kid run off to now? Hold on, what are you looking for? A person, a newcomer who came for an interview today went to the wrong place and ended up in the assessment room. About 1.85 meters tall. Pretty sturdy, named Yenyu. Have you seen him? The entire room went silent. Everyone looked up at Gu Kang and Gu Ping. What's wrong? Gu Kang felt a panic by the stairs. Yenyu didn't cause some massive disaster in the assessment room, did he? Not really, but at this point, he's probably already dead. Someone said he went into the dark matter space with Mei Yueteng and Mei Yueshuang. What? Entered the dark matter space? And with Mei Yueteng and Mei Yueshuang, of all people? If he'd gone with others, he might have had a chance. But with those 2 lunatics, he's definitely done for. Those 2 crazy siblings must have gone into the Black Fox space. The danger of Black Fox is well known. Yenyu is just a rookie who just encountered entities. He's dead for sure. Brother Kong, what do we do? Gu Ping also had a headache. They were the ones who recommended Yenyu. If Yenyu dies just like that, we're going to be held responsible. Mei Yueteng will probably bring Yenyu's body out. When that happens, we'll just cremate the kid and scatter his ashes in the sea. After all, he likes fish. If I remember correctly, Yenyu's job is specifically killing fish, right? He really loves it to death. So, our goal is to kill all the fish in the river, right? Dark matter space, by the side of a pitch-black lake. Yenyu looked at Mei Yuetung. Right, but to be precise, we need to kill the biggest one. We'll be responsible for the struggle. As long as we hold it for 2 seconds, my sister can finish it off. Hearing Mei Yuetung's words, Yenyu instinctively looked at Mei Yuechuan, his eyes full of doubt. I've encountered fish entities before. It took a lot of effort to kill that big black fish back then. Can Mei Yuechuan really kill something that strong in 2 seconds? You doubt me? Sensing Yenyu's gaze, Mei Yuechuan let out a cold hum, then reached her right hand into her chest pocket and pulled out a shotgun. Yenyu was stunned. They're using heavy weapons now? But that's not the point. The point is, how she hides such a big shotgun? Is she that deep? This is my sister's still-life object. It was assembled by the Bureau's Armament Research Institute, using 7 good-level objects. It can blast apart a good-level entity in one shot, and it's a major threat even to elite-level entities. Mei Yuetung introduced it with pride. Yenyu couldn't help but sigh in his heart. Look at them, 7 good-level objects and a shotgun. How wealthy and extravagant. And to be equipped so luxuriously during the interview stage, they must be second-generation Bureau members. I'm definitely going to be carried to victory this time. Mei Yuetung, why do you talk so much? Mei Yuechuan, who hadn't spoken until now, finally couldn't stand her brother's chatter. When the sister starts talking, it means she's impatient. Alright, I'll stop. Let's start. I'll lure the bastard up first. After saying that, Mei Yuetung opened his palm, and a pitch-black, lump-like object appeared in his hand. Go, Mei Yuetung. Threw the lump away. Thud, it landed on the riverbank. Hold Yen, get ready. It'll be out in 10 seconds at most. My object has a fatal attraction for entities. Yenyu nodded. Then pulled out his ancestral bullshine knife from his waist. Unlike the tension of Mei Yuetung and Mei Yuechuan, Yenyu was very relaxed. Not to mention being carried by 2 second-generation elites. Even if I were alone, I wouldn't panic. A fish entity meeting me? What kind of good ending could it have? Besides, the fish will be lured onto the shore. A fish on land. For someone, it's experience. Be by, it's coming. Mei Yueting's shout rang out. Yenyu instinctively looked at the lake. The calm lake began to churn and roll. Soon, a huge whirlpool formed in the center of the lake. In the blink of an eye, the whirlpool sank, and a massive black shadow leaped out. Long mouth, sharp teeth, armored body, at least 10 meters long, fierce and ferocious. Yenyu's face turned black. Damn, the fish you guys were talking about is a crocodile? Is this the same thing? The next moment, the crocodile landed on the riverbank and charged madly toward the object Mei Yuetung had thrown. Old Yen, you take the left. I'll take the right. Mei Yuetung shouted and charged at the crocodile. Yenyu took a deep breath. We're all newcomers here for an interview. If you're this brave, I have no reason to be a coward. A crocodile is still a fish. I killed plenty of them in the crocodile form. It's just a bit bigger, a bit stronger, and a bit faster. The killing blow. Yenyu lunged forward with his knife. As he got close, the thick crocodile tail swept toward him. Yenyu only had time to raise his arm, and he was sent flying. He landed right at Mei Yuechuan's feet. They looked at each other, Yenyu with a blank expression, and Mei Yuechuan with a look of disappointment. So weak. In the awkward atmosphere, Mei Yuechuan spat out 2 cold words. Yenyu didn't respond to Mei Yuechuan, but silently stood up, his eyes gradually glowing with brilliance. Wow, Yenyu is so tough. He took a tail swipe that big and is perfectly fine. Yenyu could confirm. His ability to stand down genetically enhanced. A few days ago, when I killed Old Hay, my arm was bitten through by that beast. Today, facing a 10-meter crocodile's tail swipe, I actually withstood the damage so easily. As for what enhanced me, it's either Old Hay's pollution source, or that mockingbird eyeball. Yenyu leaned more toward Old Hay's pollution source. After all, that night, I had to swing my knife until it broke to kill Old Hay. Are you Oku? Mei Yuechuan's cold voice rang out again. Mind your own business. Stop nagging. Mei Yuechuan's beautiful eyes widened. Me? Nagging? Since entering the black box space, I've only said 3 sentences in total. How is that nagging? You and Mei Yuetung have been blabbering the whole time. And was I wrong? You couldn't even dodge a single tail swipe. What use are you? This black crocodile is strong. Among good-level entities, it's almost an overlord-level existence. But the black crocodile's strength is in its defense and power. Its offensive moves aren't that great, especially the tail swipe. The wind-up is so long, you know? Can you two stop flirting? I can't hold on. The pollution level is too high. Old Yen, give me a hand. Mei Yueting's shout rang out. Yenyu didn't waste time. He answered and charged forward. Halfway there, he threw his ancestral bone-chopping knife. The knife hit the black crocodile's head with a clang. The black crocodile's reaction speed was extremely fast. The moment the knife fell from its head, it suddenly turned its head and snapped its jaws. Yenyu heard a crunch and saw the bent knife fall out of the crocodile's mouth. But Mei Yueting took advantage of this moment to retreat. Damn, this thing's pollution intensity is higher than before. Old Yen, be careful. After saying that, Mei Yueting pulled the box from his waist and drank 2 bottles of oral liquid from it. The black crocodile's hatred was now fully focused on Yenyu, its massive body moving rapidly on the riverbank. It was flying across the ground, although he'd withstood the tail swipe earlier. Facing the black crocodile's bloody mouth, Yenyu didn't dare to take it head on. Once bitten, and followed by a death roll, he'd definitely be smashed to pieces. Go to hell. Yenyu swung his arm, flinging a handful of black mud. The mud hit the black crocodile right in the eye. Although the crocodile closed its eyes the moment it hit, the sticky mud still blocked its vision. The black crocodile opened its mouth and let out a roar like a broken tractor, its huge head shaking wildly. Yenyu didn't hesitate, charging out a few steps, then sliding under to get behind the black crocodile, grabbing its tail with both hands. Feeling its tail being grabbed, the black crocodile began to thrash madly, twisting its body to try and bite Yenyu. Yenyu grinned, showing 2 rows of white teeth, his eyes flashing with mockery. I've killed over 100 crocodiles. You think I don't know your tricks? If you can bite me, I'll take your last name. Crocodile attack patterns, blind spots, and weak points. Yenyu knew them all by heart. Otherwise, the crocodile forms would come on, try harder. Yenyu's figure flickered constantly around the black crocodile's tail. Wherever the crocodile attacked, he'd dodge to the other side of the tail. If it were a normal-sized crocodile, it could still attack its tail by bending its body. But this black crocodile was too big, too well-fed. Its massive round belly made it impossible to curl up completely. Damn, Old Yen, you're awesome. Mei Yueting's eyes were filled with excitement. To be honest, he hadn't expected Yenyu to be of any help. After all, the previous 6 teammates had been useless. Besides being ferocious, the black crocodile's pollution, which it released constantly, was also terrifying. Entering within 3 meters of it meant being eroded by pollution. After a while, the pollution level would skyrocket, requiring constant suppression with portable cleaners. Portable pollution cleaners can clear 3 points of pollution, but they are very expensive. A million a bottle. Not everyone can afford them. Mei Yueshuan also couldn't help but pout. Fine, this guy Yan Yu was actually somewhat useful. At least he found the blind spot and weak point. But it's still useless for now. If he can't hold it for more than 2 seconds, everything is in vain. My gun needs 2 seconds to charge, and entities are extremely sensitive to danger. Once I start charging, the black crocodile will immediately hide back in the lake. Old Yan, I'm ready. Let's switch. You go clear your pollution. 1 minute later, Mei Yueding's shout rang out. No need, I'm still good. Hearing Yan Yu's response, Mei Yueding was slightly stunned. Yan Yu had been close combat with the crocodile for over a minute. Just now, when he struggled with it for about 50 seconds, his pollution level had risen by 8 points. Even if Yan Yu's resistance was higher than his, after a minute, it should have been at least 6 or 7 points. Is Yan Yu refusing to clear it because he doesn't have any cleaners? Probably. Just looking at his clothes, his economic situation isn't very good. Old Yan, he's such a sincere guy. His pollution level is almost at the safety limit, and he still doesn't want to give up. It's heartbreaking. Old Yan. Here are some portable cleaners. They're a million a bottle. Don't try to save money for me. After saying that, Mei Yueding took 2 bottles out of the box and put them on the ground. Yan Yu, who was still struggling with the crocodile, trembled all over. A million a bottle? These second generation leaks are so classy. Old Yan, go. Mei Yueding had already circled to Yan Yu's side, and Lai Yan Yu grabbed the tip of the crocodile's tail. Brother Mei, thank you. Yan Yu nodded solemnly, then quickly rushed toward the cleaners on the ground. Watching Yan Yu's slightly hurried footsteps, Mei Yueding showed a satisfied smile. Old Yan is finally at his limit. Of course, he wasn't a sucker, and wouldn't just give cleaners to any teammate. In fact, he hadn't given any to the previous 6. It wasn't that he was stingy, they were just useless. Old Yan is different. Not only is he sincere, but he found the blind spot. More importantly, Old Yan can actually talk to my sister. You know, in the previous 6 attempts, with 6 whole teammates, Shuang didn't say a single word to them. Yan Yu picked up the 2 bottles of cleaner, fiddled with them for a moment, then tilted his head and drank. He moved his throat as he drank, as if he were really drinking them. In fact, the liquid inside the bottle was actually... Wait, I need to finish the 500 lines. The liquid was just water. He was just pretending. He didn't want to waste the expensive medicine. He looked at the siblings. They were still holding the tail. He had to finish this now. He grabbed his knife and charged back in, not even opening the cap. Drinking medicine is never happening in this life, but this thing is a million a bottle. If I don't take it, it's against the laws of nature. Brother Mei, hold on, I'm coming. Yan Yu shouted out loud, and stuffed the medicine into his pocket. Half a minute later, Yan Yu grabbed the black crocodile's tail again, replacing Mei Yueding. Mei Yueding didn't waste any words. Quickly downed 2 bottles of pollution cleanser. Not only that, Mei Yueding was very thoughtful. He consciously left 2 more on the ground. That's another 2 million. Facing the gift from the rich kid, Yan Yu accepted it happily. After spinning and jumping with the croc for a minute, he rushed off to drink his medicine. Nearly 10 minutes later, Mei Yueding's supply of pollution cleanser was exhausted. Yan Yu clutched the 10 million in his pocket, satisfied. 10 whole bottles of pollution cleanser. At a 10% discount, reselling them is 9 million. 9 million straight into the bank. At a 4% annual interest rate, that's 360,000 in interest a year. For a single guy like me, that's basically financial freedom. But after these 10 minutes of entanglement, the black crocodile was clearly exhausted too. Its turns and tail swipes had visibly slowed down. Its bite wasn't as powerful as at the start. When it first burst out of the black lake, the croc could snap its jaws and make a loud boom. Shuang, get ready. I'm going all out. This time I have a chance behind the croc. Mei Yueding shouted to Mei Yueshuan. The previous 6 attempts, they had almost all ended in miserable failure. This time, the early phase was nearly perfect. The croc's condition was at least 70% drained. Old Yan, help Shuang, protect her if needed, and get her out of here. Mei Yueding urged Yan Yu again. Yan Yu nodded. You're throwing 10 million at me. It's hard for me to say no. Forget it. Get lost. Go help Mei Yueding. Seeing Yan Yu approach, Mei Yueshuang scolded him with a cold face. I think this girl definitely has some issues. Old Yan, my sister is just cold on the outside. She actually wants to say thank you. Yan Yu's eye twitched. Where the hell do you see her being warm inside? She doesn't want to thank me at all. Even though I just met your sister today. The way she looks at everyone like they're dogs. It has nothing to do with being warm-hearted. These 2 siblings are both messed up. Static stripping. Next second, behind the croc. Mei Yueding slammed a palm onto the croc's body. The black lump the croc had swallowed popped out of its mouth with a bang. Then the lump began to splitting into long, thin black tentacles. Soon, the overwhelming black tentacles engulfed the croc. The croc clearly felt the threat now. It started charging toward the black lake regardless. Shuang! Mei Yueding roared beside Yan Yu. Mei Yueshuan launched herself, flanking the black crocodile. Watching Mei Yueshuan sprinting along the bank, Yan Yu couldn't help but curse. Damn, she's way faster than me. Great, with that strength and physical ability. Does she really need me to protect her? Whatever, I'll just slack off on the side. Yan Yu sighed. Then he ran up sluggishly. The Xiaosui's intelligence isn't high, but its sense of danger is extremely sharp. The moment Mei Yueshuan charged with her shotgun, the croc entered berserk mode. Its massive body rampaged across the riverbank, tearing the black tentacles to shreds. You're not getting away today, Mei Yueding. Clinging to the croc's back with hands and feet. Like a spider clinging on. He sprinted along the croc's body. Bang! The moment Mei Yueding landed on its head, a heavy boom echoed under his feet. Then Yan Yu saw Mei Yueding jump up, high, at least 30 meters into the air. Mid-air, Mei Yueding let out a cry, tearing his white suit open, exposing his solid muscles. Before Yan Yu could even marvel, Mei Yueding's left hand plunged into his right chest. Blood splattered. Mei Yueding! You idiot! Mei Yueshuan's angry shout rang out. After shouting, she stopped. Turning, she pointed her shotgun at the ground. Whoa! A crimson light flared. A terrifying blast echoed. Yan Yu stared blankly at Mei Yueshuan in the air. Ha! That's so see you. At the same time, he felt the immense pressure. We're all here for an interview, but the gap is huge. Other than being immune to pollution, my real combat power compared to them. Mei Yueshuan is on a different dimension. Blood art, following Mei Yueding's roar. The hole in his chest was like a fountain. A massive amount of blood surged out, splashing onto the black crocodile. Those black tentacles that were torn apart, like sharks smelling blood, swarmed in an instant. Black tentacles covered the croc's entire body. The croc roared and twisted, but couldn't move an inch. I know, Shuang, don't nag. Mid-air, Mei Yueshuan's shotgun was already aimed at its head. Terrifying power gathered in the barrel. The crimson light grew brighter, as if feeling the threat of death. The croc under the tentacles made a frantic clicking sound. Those tentacles attached to its body were breaking at a visible speed. Mei Yueding, now on the ground, knelt on one knee. His face was as pale as a corpse. Reincarnation, Mei Yueshuan's cold voice rang out. Along with the roar of the shotgun, a crimson light orb gathered at the barrel. A thick, violent beam erupted from the orb in the blink of an eye. The beam pierced the croc's skull. Flesh and scales exploded into a rain of blood. The struggling croc instantly collapsed and died. Well, most of its head was blown off, so even gasping for air was a luxury. Broken by Mei Yueding's excited shout. Mei Yueding, are you out of your mind? Mei Yueshuan panted, her face looking terrible. Didn't we just kill the croc? Why is this girl still so bitter? You knew I'd be completely weak after that shot. Why did you have to get yourself half dead? Saying that, she pointed at Yen Yu. If he had evil intentions now, we'd both be dead. Yen Yu realized, that makes sense. Human hearts are unpredictable, but I trust old Yen. Mei Yueding said firmly. You idiot. Mei Yueshuang sneered. The most unreliable thing in this world is human nature, and even more unreliable than that are men. Shuang, watch your mouth. Mind your own business. I'm your brother. You two, stop bickering. It's not about whether you two die or not. We might all be goners. Yen Yu waved to interrupt them, then turned to look at the black lake. Mei Yueding and Mei Yueshuang looked over instinctively. The water in the lake was churning. Densely packed crocodile heads emerged. The fast ones had already reached the bank. It's over. Mei Yueding's pale face turned even paler. Mei Yueshuan's eyes were practically spitting fire. A rough glance. At least 100 crocodiles. These are all Xiesui. Some are newborn level. Others are ordinary level. If Mei Yueding had any strength left, he could have carried her and escaped. But now, there's no chance. Even if Yen Yu had a sudden burst of humanity and tried to carry both of them, they'd eventually be caught and become food for these Xiesui. He had already observed him earlier. Other than having high pollution resistance, Yen Yu's strength is ridiculously low, let alone carrying two people. Even without carrying anyone, he might not even outrun an ordinary Xiesui. Old Yen, take my sister and go. You promised me. Mei Yueding struggled to stand, his tone heavy. I'm afraid we're really going to end it here. But it's not a total loss. We at least killed the black crocodile. Yen Yu looked at Mei Yueding, then at the crocodiles gathering from all sides. He hesitated. Mei Yueding, why are you always such an idiot? I've told you so many times. Human nature is unreliable. He'd have an easier time escaping alone. Why would he take a burden lie me? Because I called him weak? Or said he was useless? Yen Yu, actually, you should shut up. Get lost. Mei Yueshuang glared at Yen Yu. I, Mei Yueshuang, never place hope in man, and I never owe men any favors. We succeeded in killing the croc this time. Yen Yu did help. If it weren't for Yen Yu finding the croc and draining most of its stamina, even if Mei Yueding used his blood art, he couldn't have controlled it for 2 seconds. Even though we're facing a dead end now, a favor is a favor. So instead of Yen Yu dying with me, let him run alone. That way we're even. Scolded again by the rich kid. So arrogant, Mei Yueshuang. Mei Yueding's voice rose sharply, his tone filled with intense anger. You can be willful, you can be proud, you can continue being self-righteous, but the prerequisite is that you survive. Did Yen Yu say he wouldn't take you? He didn't even say anything. What are you refusing? Old Yen, my brother in arms. Tell me now. As a real man, are you taking my sister or not? Mei Yueding looked at Yen Yu. His words were full of flattery and barbs. Yen Yu looked at Mei Yueding, then at Mei Yueshuang. No, why would I take her? Mei Yueding froze. Mei Yueshuang looked disdainful. I'm not going either. Why would I take her? Right soon, Yen Yu added another sentence. Both were stunned, even Mei Yueshuang frowned at this moment. Yen Yu didn't explain. He rolled his neck and stretched his back, then turned and walked toward the black lake. Mei Yueding was almost dumbfounded. What is Yen Yu doing? Trying to feed himself to the crocodiles? To buy us time to escape? Is he crazy? You can't even feed them by yourself. A mere 100 Xiesui. I can let him out with a wave of my hand. Sword, come. Yen Yu raised his right hand and roared at the sky. Forget the siblings, even the crocodiles on the bank paused, their eyes filled with confusion. So wrong line. Yen Yu coughed and waved his hand. Let's do that again. After saying that, Yen Yu looked serious. The hand pointing at the sky slowly fell to his forehead. Heaven's eye, open. Yen Yu roared again. Can you just get lost? Mei Yueshuang slowly followed immediately. Is Yen Yu's brain filled with pig feed? However, the moment she finished speaking, a blood-red color spilled from Yen Yu's forehead. The next moment, the red color gathered. A massive eyeball formed. Holy crap. B01. Mei Yueding gasped. The anger in Mei Yueshuang's eyes was replaced by surprise. Yen Yu actually contained B01. Mockingbird's gaze. Static objects have grades and numbers. B is good grade. C is ordinary grade. The number is elite grade. But besides the number, there's the sequence. The 01 sequence in every grade is always the most bizarre and deadly synonym. It also represents that for 27 years, no one could contain it. Shuang, look. This is the power of belief. Mei Yueding smiled. Mei Yueshuang scoffed. You never forget those cheesy lines. The moment Mockingbird's gaze appeared above Yen Yu's head, the crocodiles on the bank stopped in their tracks. Their fierce eyes were filled with terror and a kind of innate submission. Get lost, all of you. Yen Yu's voice fell. A bizarre black shadow appeared in front of the eye. A faint, eerie cry rang out. The crocodiles in the lake all dove under. Those on the bank turned and fled into the water. Dust settled. The eye on Yen Yu's forehead vanished. Yen Yu's brain almost vanished with it. He was dizzy to the point of collapse. Not just dizzy, but weak, his legs shaking. He only used the big eyeball for 3 or 5 seconds, and almost got drained dry. Looks like this thing can't be used casually. After half a minute of recovery, Yen Yu turned to look at the siblings. Old Yen, from now on, you're my brother in arms. Mei Yueding raised his fist. When you asked me to take your sister earlier, didn't you already say we were brothers? Damn you, you dog. I never owe favors, especially not to men. Tell me, what do you want? As long as I have it and can give it, it's yours. Mei Yueshuang's tone became normal and calm for the first time. Yen Yu raised an eyebrow. Anything I have, really? How about I look at your legs? In the next second, Yen Yu made his request. Yeah, Mei Yueshuang's legs are really long. Mei Yueding's eyes widened. Then he quickly gave Yen Yu a thumbs up. As expected of the brother I chose, so bold. In my sister's eyes, all men are dogs. Let alone looking at her legs. If any man stares at her twice, she'd go crazy and slap them. Fine, you book a room when we get out. I'll let you look all you want. Mei Yueshuang nodded, narrowing her eyes. Yen Yu thought, good guy. Miss Xuan might be cold, but lie her brother. She's very principled. Mei Yueding was stunned. Is my sister joking? Booking a room to look at legs? This isn't right. Very not right. Is Schwank rating Yan Yu's mockingbird's gaze? Mei Yuetang asked. Look at my legs? I'll gouge his eyes out. That's fair. Mei Yueshuan nodded. Yan Yu gave her the middle finger on the spot. What kind of person are you? Just said you didn't want to owe me. And now you want to gouge my eyes out? Saving your life, and this is what I get? But Yan Yu didn't say anything more, even though he turned the tide in the end. If they hadn't killed the croc, he wouldn't have passed this interview. Honestly, the Bureau's interview difficulty is absurd. Let's carve up the croc first. Mei Yuetang coughed to change the subject. I feel we might get a static object. This croc is at the peak of good grade. Give it more time. It might have reached elite grade, and a CSY on the verge of breaking through is most likely to produce a static object. I'll do it. Hearing Mei Yuetang, Yan Yu stepped forward, jumped onto the croc's head, took out his slicing knife from his sharkskin set, and started working. Because most of its skull was blown away, the scales already had a gap. Yan Yu couldn't break its defense normally, but with a gap, skinning and deadening was a piece of cake. Half an hour later, Mei Yuetang and Mei Yueshuang looked at the dismembered croc, their eyes twitching. What kind of person is this guy? Such a big crocodile. Such hard scales. He just finished processing it. Old Yan, is your knife a static object too? Mei Yuetang asked, watching Yan Yu decompose the scales. It was like cutting through butter. No, just a slicing knife? Impossible. How could an ordinary knife cut through the scales? Mei Yuetang shook his head, disbelieving. Yan Yu shrugged and tossed the knife to Mei Yuetang. Catching the knife, Mei Yuetang immediately inspected it. After checking for 2 minutes, his brain almost crashed. It really doesn't seem to be a static object. Just a household kitchen knife. Exactly like the 15 yuan one from the supermarket. How can a cheap kitchen knife cut through the scales of a good grade CSY? This makes no sense. At the end of the day, it's just a layer of tough fish skin. As long as you find the gap, follow the grain, it's not hard to cut. I killed hundreds of crocodiles before. Skinned hundreds of them. That's why. Killed hundreds of crocodiles? Has Yan Yu raided the Black Lake before? I haven't heard of any other dark matter space where crocodiles CSY gather. It seems Yan Yu isn't as simple as he looks. Mei Yueshuang narrowed her eyes. This guy is really good at acting. Yan Yu's true strength is definitely much stronger than he shows. Not to mention his pollution resistance is absurd. The croc is dead, but the pollution source remains. Pollution is still condensing around the corpse, even if it's weaker than when it was alive. It's still quite potent. And Yan Yu worked on the body for half an hour. If it were anyone else, their pollution level would spike. Found it. Yan Yu's voice was suddenly excited. His hand plunged into the croc's guts, pulled out a blood-stained object. Something appeared in his hand. Couldn't see what it was, but it was emitting a faint, polluted light. A static object. Mei Yuetang exclaimed. Although CSY on the verge of breaking through are more likely to produce static objects, the probability is still pitifully small. The Bureau has been established for 25 years. We've killed at least 1 million CSY, but we haven't found 1,000 static objects. Less than 1 per thousand. We hit the jackpot. I'll wash it and see. Yan Yu jumped down, rushing toward the Black Lake. He squatted and started washing it. 1 second, 2 seconds, half a minute. What are you two staring at? Come and see the fresh static object. Yan Yu ran back to the bank excitedly. Mei Yuetang and Mei Yueshuang swallowed simultaneously. Yan Yu was completely fine. Damn, he was washing his hands in the Black Lake, and he did it for a full half minute. Yet he's still jumping around. That's the water of the Black Lake, the collection of all pollution in this space. How can a human touch it and be fine? Are you kidding me? Even those legendary big shots might not be able to handle it. Old Yan, maybe we should contain the static object first? Mei Yuetang saw Yan Yu walking over and immediately backed away a few steps. The pollution level of static objects is very high, especially one that's been soaked in the Black Lake. Now that our pollution cleansers are gone, we don't want to get infected. Wait. That's not right. Your pollution resistance is freakishly high. Why did I need the pollution cleanser? Mei Yuetang's gaze fell on Yan Yu's bulging pants pocket. So, are these my medicines in there? Feeling Mei Yuetang's gaze, Yan Yu couldn't help but feel a bit awkward. Caught. Sigh, it's my fault for knowing too little about CSY and knowing too little about various pollutants. If I'm not mistaken, the Black Lake water must also be polluted, and the pollution level is very high. Otherwise, these two wouldn't have that expression. Then let's contain it. Do you have a containment box? Yan Yu grinned. Anyway, the medicine is already in my pocket. Taking it out is impossible. Debt. Mei Yuetang tossed in the metal box. The box wasn't big, just enough to hold this static object. Oh, done. Let's get out of here. Yan Yu waved his hand. Old Yan, we haven't extracted the pollution source yet. What pollution source? Don't I know my own body? The moment I jumped on the croc's head, the croc's pollution source was absorbed into my body. If I'm not mistaken, there must be 3 black marks on my chest right now. Anyway, we already have a static object. Forget about the pollution source. The Mockingbird's gaze deterrence time is almost up. Those crocodiles will be coming out again soon. Let's go. Don't dawdle. If they come back, we're all done for. Mockingbird's gaze can only be activated once a day. Mei Yuetang didn't believe a word Yan Yu said. What kind of nonsense are you spouting? But Mei Yuetang cooperated, without asking more or insisting. Let's go. Moving on. The value of the still life is already enough. Xuan, let's go. It's time to anchor. Jinsui Bureau Assessment Room, Tianping City. Gukong and Guping stand at attention, heads bowed. Standing before them are the senior officials of the Bureau. Every one of them looks furious. I, Zheng Songquan, have managed recruitment for years and never seen this. Just how lazy are you two? You couldn't even get the recruit to the interview site? The new recruit actually ended up in the assessment room and entered the dark matter space with 2 lunatics. How is that any different from getting him killed? I'm telling you, Gukong, you're primarily responsible for this. Facing the scolding, Gukong doesn't dare to argue back, but he feels incredibly wronged. We really aren't lazy. It's just that Yan Yu guy is a total trap. In the time it took us to bring him in, his pollution levels just kept skyrocketing, and I really did give him directions. I gave them very clearly, too. He still managed to take a wrong turn at one corner. What could I do? Alright, old Zhang, since it's already happened, let's just follow the standard procedure. As the action team leader, I'm responsible too. I clearly didn't train these 2 idiots well enough. I'll write a formal apology and submit it later. Calm down. Behind Zheng Songquan, action team leader Li Jianxin tries to mediate. Hearing Li Jianxin's words, Zheng Songquan has no choice but to let it go. What else could he do? Li Jianxin is already offering to write an apology. What are you two still standing there for? Li Jianxin looks at Gukong and Guping. Go prepare the body bags. Go prepare the compensation and funeral expenses. You'll be paying for this out of your own pockets. Gukang's heart sinks. According to the Bureau's compensation policy, that's at least 7 or 800,000. Just lie that, for nothing. 1 million is down the drain, but he has no choice but to accept it. Understood, leader. As soon as Gukong speaks, lights flicker on in the assessment room. Simultaneously, a mechanical voice rings out. Machine 3 returning, path confirmed. Black Fox anchored, distortion field, initiating. Hearing the sound, everyone takes a deep breath. Then they turn their eyes toward Machine 3. The equipment finally came out. Soon, a distortion field forms. Then, 3 figures step out of the field. Wait, 3 people. Everyone present can't quite wrap their heads around it. Shouldn't two people walk out and one be carried out? Yenyu is still alive? How is that possible? That's a dark matter space, and a highly dangerous black fox one at that. Even if Mei Luoting had a sudden burst of kindness and protected Yenyu the whole time, it wouldn't matter. The entire black fox space is filled with pollution. Yenyu is just a recruit who just touched the supernatural. With his pollution resistance, there's no way he could have held up. They were in the black fox for almost an hour. An hour is enough for a recruit's pollution to spike multiple times. Unless Yenyu's pollution resistance is naturally high. Could he be a genius? Zhang Songquan mutters to himself, a glimmer of excitement in his eyes. To withstand an hour of black fox pollution as a recruit. This talent is absolutely top tier. Mei Luoting and Mei Yueshuan, seeing all these high-ranking officials frown at the same time. What's going on? Why are so many people surrounding us? Could the Bureau already know we cleared the black fox? That shouldn't be possible. Dark matter spaces completely block information. Wait, their gazes are all focused on Yenyu. Mei Luoting looks dazed. I knew this guy wasn't simple. Look, he just enters a dark matter space, and half the high-ranking officials of the Bureau show up. Mei Yueshuan also looks at Yenyu again. Is this guy from the General Bureau? Otherwise, why would so many officials be standing here? And before today, I'd never seen Yenyu at the Tianping Jinsui Bureau. I hadn't even heard of him. Is he a genius from over there? He does seem pretty impressive. As for Yenyu, after scanning the officials, his gaze lands directly on Gukong and Guping. Brother Kong, Brother Ping, are you here to see me? Yenyu waves at them. Mei Yueshuan and Mei Luoting are stunned. What did Yenyu call Gukong and Guping? Brother Kong, Brother Ping? Are you kidding? Those two are so weak, not only weak, but cowardly. Most of their peers have already started clearing dark matter spaces. These two are either slacking off or on their way to slack off. Facing Yenyu's greeting, Gukong and Guping don't even want to respond. They don't want any association with this scoundrel. They want to leave, to go work in the security office. They've realized one thing. As long as you're involved with Yenyu, nothing good ever happens. To be honest, the interview difficulty at our bureau is really something. Killing the black fox should count as passing, right? Seeing Gukong not responding, Yenyu asks again. The scene is deathly silent. Everyone is staring intently at Yenyu. Mei Yueshuan and Mei Luoting are full of confusion. Interview? What interview? Weren't we clearing the black fox? What does that have to do with an interview? As for the others, their eyes are filled with bewildered SOC. They killed the black fox and finished the mission? Are you kidding me? Mei Luoting and Mei Yueshuan failed 6 times before, and those 6 times, their teammates were top-tier experts. Even with experts, it didn't work. But with a rookie, they succeeded? This makes no sense. Old Yen, what do you mean by interview? As the atmosphere turns strange, Mei Luoting asks, just the interview. Weren't we just taking the Bureau's new recruit interview? I think all 3 of us passed. From now on, we're all colleagues. New recruit interview? Colleagues? Old Yen, that black fox is a dark matter space. It's used for Bureau members' promotion assessments. Yenyu pauses. What the hell? The black fox is for promotion assessments? No wonder it was hell difficulty from the start. No wonder an interview involved fighting a mechanical anomaly. Damn, I went to the wrong place. Lucky we won in the end. If we died in there, it would have been so unfair. It's all Gukong and Guping's fault. Why didn't you take me to the interview site yourselves? Why are you so lazy? You wouldn't even walk that little bit of distance. As soon as he meets Yenyu's gaze, Gukong knows something is wrong. Brother Kong, I'm really sorry. I didn't know I go to the wrong place. Hey, it's my first time at the Bureau. I'm not familiar with the place. You gave very clear directions. It must be that I didn't remember them. It's all my fault. I'm just stupid. My fault for not asking more. Yenyu's passive-aggressive tone leaves Gukong and Guping speechless. They didn't expect this kid to be such a jerk. He's dumping all the blame on them. But Gukong has nothing to say, because it really was their fault for not guiding him properly. Brother Kong, these are your leaders, right? Yenyu looks at the high-ranking officials. After speaking, Yenyu quickly steps forward and firmly grabs Li Jianxin's hand. Leader, going to the wrong place was all my fault. You really can't blame Brother Kong and Brother Ping. I think I should just leave the Bureau. Since I can't even handle such a small task, I'll definitely be a burden later. Li Jianxin's eye twitches. Where did Gukong and Guping recruit this kid from? He's so passive-aggressive. Why are you leaving? The ones who made the mistake were Gukong and Guping. It has nothing to do with you. They didn't take you to the interview site. It's their dereliction of duty. From the side, Zhang Songquan immediately steps up to state his position. Hearing Zhang Songquan's words, Li Jianxin can't help but roll his eyes. Brother Songquan, don't you see? Yenyu is just waiting for you to say that. It's so cool, leader. Yenyu, let's go. Then grabs Li Jianxin's hand again. Zhang Songquan, he looks sad and self-reproachful. Regardless of whose fault it is, the thing has already happened. Since it happened, someone has to take responsibility. I'll do it. I don't mind. As he speaks, Yenyu's eyes turn slightly red. Bullshit. Zhang Songquan roars, then turns to look at Gukong and Guping. Look at yourselves, then look at Yenyu. Aren't you ashamed? I'm putting my foot down today. You each owe Yenyu 200 merit points. Otherwise, I'm holding you accountable. Gukong and Guping look at Li Jianxin. Leader, say something. 200 merit points. It took us 7 or 8 years of hard work to save 5 or 600. Losing 200 all at once is killing us. Li Jianxin spreads his hands. What's the use of looking at me? Don't you see Zhang Songquan is already being played by this kid? Anyway, you two introduced Yenyu, and you two really were at fault. So just stand there and take it. Leader, please, don't make it hard for my 2 brothers. I don't want the merit points. Just being able to stay is enough. Sigh, otherwise my brothers will definitely hold a grudge against me. Gukong grinds his teeth. Yenyu, are you ever going to stop? Seeing Gukang's reaction, Yenyu gets a cold snort from Zhang Songquan. 250 merit points each. Give them now. Yenyu opens his mouth, then shakes his head gently. Leader, does it have to be this way? Debt. Today, these merit points, they must give them to me. No one can talk me out of it. Zhang Songquan nods firmly. Yenyu is such a good kid, high talent, pure heart, such a future genius, almost ruined by these 2 idiots. Since that's the case, alright, Yenyu nods, then turns to look at Gukong and Guping, a grin spreading across his face. Kongzi, Pingzi, what the hell are you still standing there for? Hey up! The scene falls into silence again. Almost everyone's eyelids are twitching, especially Zhang Songquan. His expression is off. Clearly, he realizes he's been used as a pawn. Yenyu, you. Leader, thank you. Since joining the Bureau, I already have 500 merit points. Don't worry, I will definitely make good use of these points. I will make myself stronger. I will kill more supernatural anomalies. To repay the Bureau. To repay the leader's kindness, Yenyu's words shut Zhang Songquan up completely. However, hearing Yenyu's words, the anger in Zhang Songquan's heart fades a bit. This kid isn't too outrageous after all. This is what you deserve. After all, surviving the Black Fox isn't easy. Yenyu. Zhang Songquan is about to say a few encouraging words, but before he can, the handheld device in Yenyu's hand suddenly rings. Each merit point can be exchanged for 10,000 yuan. To exchange, please click next. To exchange for something else, please go back. Veins pop on Zhang Songquan's forehead. Is this what you meant by making good use of points to get stronger and repay the Bureau? Exchanging them for cash cash directly? Yenyu looks a bit embarrassed. Didn't I set this piece of junk to silent earlier? Why is it ringing again? Leader, my girlfriend and I have suffered a lot together. Now that I've made it and have some money, I want her to lie a better life. I want to move into a big house with her, not a 20 square meter low rent apartment. I want her to eat good food, not just pickles and rice every day. I want to buy her pretty clothes so she can dress up beautifully like other girls. Yenyu's tone is low. His emotions are spot on. The passion of a young man who, after achieving success, wants to see it with his loved one is moving. Many people in the assessment room have red eyes, especially some of the women, who are quietly shedding tears. Yenyu, he's so devoted. Not only devoted, but handsome too. Opposite Yenyu, Gukong and Guping don't even bother rolling their eyes. Girlfriend? What girlfriend? You're going to say Luke Seixing is your girlfriend again, aren't you? They've figured it out. Anything that comes out of this lunatic Yenyu's mouth, you can't even trust the punctuation. Sigh. A long sigh escaped Zheng Songquan. I was young once too. I also had someone to support me, drawing up a future in beauty. But in the end, she became my greatest regret. Fine, do as you wish. Zheng Songquan waves his hand, his slightly cloudy eyes full of longing and helplessness. Thank you for your understanding, leader. My girlfriend will definitely be very grateful to you too. After saying that, Yenyu stares at Gukong and Guping. Gukong curls his lip. This kid is clearly after the merit points. You haven't officially joined the bureau yet. You don't have employee ID, so you can't transfer them. Gukong shrugs, a flash of determination in his eyes. As soon as I leave, I'll spend all the merit points I've saved over the years. That way, the 250 points I owe Yenyu can be paid in installments, stretching over 8 or 10 years. Yenyu narrows his eyes, a hint of disdain appearing at the corner of his mouth. I've been selling fish at the market for 10 years. What kind of people haven't I seen? That look clearly means you want to delay payment. Leader, Yenyu looks at Zheng Songquan again. Can you process my employment right now? Zheng Songquan is a bit puzzled. Are you in such a hurry? Normally, we have to give you a full physical exam first. You can only be hired if the report is qualified, but your situation is special. The physical can be done later. Direct employment is possible. The employee ID will take about 2 days. Zheng Songquan thinks for a moment and says. Yenyu frowns. 2 days? 2 days? Damn, the opportunity will be gone by then. With the character of those two bastards Gukong and Guping, they'll probably spend all their points as soon as they leave. Can it be faster? Leader, can't you give me the ID on the spot? Zheng Songquan shakes his head. Of course not. The files have to be sent to headquarters. They have to be reviewed by headquarters first. Seeing Yenyu's ate-shit expression, Gukong feels a sense of satisfaction. You dog, you want my 250 merit points? I'll make sure to stretch it out over 7 or 8 decades. Besides, what kind of place is the bureau? What kind of profession is an anomaly containment officer? It's full of danger. If you're unlucky, you might be dead in a year or two. Then I won't have to pay, right? Perfect. Since that's the case, you two can transfer the points to my good brother instead. Yenyu smiles and points to Mei Luodong. The smile in Gukang's eyes vanishes instantly. Damn, Yenyu, you scoundrel. Yenyu, I think we should wait until you get your employee ID before we transfer them to Mei Luodong. His reputation isn't very good. What if he gets the points and doesn't give them to you? Guping also tries to persuade him. Yenyu clicks his tongue and looks at Mei Luodong. Brother Mei, let's exchange the points for cash. Mei Luodong doesn't waste words, directly pulling out his phone's payment code. After scanning Yenyu's payment code, Mei Luodong taps his phone a few times, transferring 10 million yuan. Yenyu's phone rings. Yenyu looks at Mei Luodong with some surprise. Aren't 500 merit points worth 5 million? The bureau buys back 1 point for 10,000. Private transactions are usually 20,000. Mei Luodong says with a smile. Alright, then their points can go to you. Yenyu points to Gukong and Guping. Mei Luodong spreads his hands, smiling. Transfer the points. Gukong and Guping don't even hesitate. They immediately transfer 250 each. Are you kidding? No one in the Tianping Bureau dares to mess with Mei Luodong. A rich grandfather, a powerful father, a protective mother, and a crazy sister. Whoever provokes him suffers. Oh cool, money and goods exchanged. I'm off. Going back to find my girlfriend. Yenyu waves his hand and runs toward the door, disappearing quickly. Everyone is moved again. What a good young man. He doesn't forget the person who suffered with him even after getting rich. Although he likes to trick people a bit. The good outweighs the bad, right? Damn, old Yen, why are you running? The black box still life hasn't been sold yet. Mei Luodong suddenly shouts. Beside Mei Luodong, Mei Yueshuan also narrows her eyes. This dog of a man probably wants to keep it all for himself. It doesn't matter, let him run. If he tries to keep it all, I'll dig his eyeballs out. We'll make a pure profit. Mei Yueshuan thinks for a moment and says, the assessment room is filled with sobbing sounds. A black fox still life. What kind of heaven-defying luck is this? The black fox is at the peak of good level. The still life produced must also be good level. A good level still life is worth at least 1,000 merit points. Some with strong functions could even be worth thousands or tens of thousands. The second generation probably doesn't care about 1 good level still life. Definitely. Sister Schwang's shotgun used 7 good level still lives. We're all brothers in life and death. I'll take a little profit. They definitely won't mind. Outside the Long Yen building plaza, Yenyu leaves the building with a bright smile. Yenyu doesn't go back to his fish stall, but goes straight to a nearby shopping mall. 10 million, man, why not enjoy it? An hour later, Yenyu is squatting empty-handed in the mall's smoking area, lost in thought. After arriving at the mall, he first went to a high-end suit shop. After all, clothes make the man. Mei Luodong's taste is terrible, but his white suit looks incredibly flashy. I've joined the bureau now. So dressing a bit better is reasonable, right? What was the name of the suit shop? Yenyu doesn't know. It was just a string of English letters. I recognize the letters, but I don't understand them when put together. The shop was very high-end, and the two salesgirls were beautiful. Yenyu immediately told them to bring him the most expensive suit. The girl said the most expensive one had to be custom-made. 1.2 million for a custom suit. After hearing the price, Yenyu went to the bathroom and left. What the hell? They actually dared to ask for 0.01 of a small bomb from me. After leaving the suit shop, Yenyu went to a watch shop. He actually recognized the name of the watch shop. It was called Patek Philippe. They say rich people wear these. After going in, Yenyu learned his lesson. He didn't shout, give me the most expensive one, but honestly looked at a few models, then asked for the price. He looked at 3 watches in total. The cheapest was 770,000. The most expensive one was 5.02 million. After Yenyu went to the bathroom again, he ended up in the outdoor smoking area, breathing in some secondhand smoke, coming down. Forget it, going home. Yenyu takes one last deep drag, stands up, and prepares to leave. He hasn't even taken a step yet when someone grabs his clothes. Yenyu subconsciously turns his head. What greets his eyes are 2 mountain peaks and a landing pad. Whoa, Officer Jiang, hello. Yenyu greets her immediately. He didn't expect Zhang Pan to look so hot in casual clothes. Zhang Pan examines him. Yenyu, have you been chasing dogs these past few days? No, I remember all of Officer Zhang's teachings. You don't have to call me Officer Jiang specifically. I know I'm big. Officer Jiang is a straightforward person. By the way, are you out shopping alone, Officer Jiang? Yenyu, what do you mean? Am I not a person? Besides Zhang Pan, Lu Seixing is immediately unhappy. Yenyu looks at Lu Seixing with surprise. Dr. Lu is here too? So the mountain peaks in front were too high. I didn't see you. Well, you two enjoy shopping. I'm off. See you. Yenyu waves his hand and prepares to flash away. Where are you going? Where's my treat? Lu Seixing grabs Yenyu's clothes again. Yenyu clicks his tongue. You're asking me for a treat? If I hadn't carried that lemon tree away, you'd be dead. Alright, the tree is buried. Didn't I tell you? That tree has a big problem. If you kept it any longer, you'd be dead. Zhang Pan and Lu Caixing roll their eyes at Yin Yu at the same time. This lunatic is really something. He stopped chasing dogs and started looking at feng shui, and the way he looks at feng shui is something else. Other feng shui masters would at most say the tree affects your fortune. But you start by saying you're going to die. Oh, give me a break. I've been raising that lemon tree for half a year. Lu Caixing clicks her tongue. Yin Yu feels a sudden burst of warmth in his heart. I should find a way to recruit Lu Caixing into the bureau. Her talent is absolutely explosive. I don't care. You took the tree, so you have to pay for it. Yin Yu reached directly into his pocket. Fine, I'll pay. It's just a lemon tree. I'll transfer you 200 or 300. Join us, Ramil instead. Yin Yu, oh, that kind of pain? Sure, why not? After thinking for 2 seconds, Yin Yu nodded and agreed. I should build a rapport with Lu Caixing first. It will make things go more smoothly later. Soon, the three arrived at a barbecue place on the 4th floor. As soon as they sat down, Lu Caixing's eyes landed on the metal box in Yin Yu's hand. What's in that box of yours? You've been so careful with it. Let me see. As she spoke, Lu Caixing reached out. Yin Yu panicked and grabbed Lu Caixing's hand. Zhang Pan couldn't help but raise an eyebrow. Is this kid Yin Yu looking for a death wish? Daring to lay hands on Caixing lied at. It's nothing, just my father's ashes. Yin Yu immediately let go of Lu Caixing, then tucked the metal box behind him. Zhang Pan and Lu Caixing both scoffed. We've both read your file. Your father died the year you were born, 27 years ago. Right, and your father was lost at sea. They never found the body, so where would you get ashes? However, Lu Caixing didn't press the matter further. After all, Yin Yu is still a patient. Yin Yu seems normal for now, but if this guy gets triggered, who knows if his second personality might come out. Hello, are you ready to order? The waiter walked over at that moment. The three of them ordered some items to their liking. After waiting about 2 minutes, the waiter started serving. You two just relax. Yin Yu picked up the tongs. I'll handle the grilling. Since he wanted to get on good terms with Lu Caixing, he figured he should grill the meat for them. That would definitely leave a better impression, right? Lu Caixing couldn't help but raise an eyebrow. Oh, you're actually acting like a man for once. Let me grill a chicken wing. Yin Yu reached out to grab the wing, but before he could put it on the grill, the chair behind him was suddenly kicked. His hand shook, and the wing fell onto the table. Yin Yu looked back. It was a chubby kid, maybe 12. He was sitting backward on his chair, with his feet kicking at Yin Yu's shadow. Hey kid, stop kicking my chair, Oku. Yin Yu said with a lot of patience. Maybe the kid didn't mean to do it, right? After being told, the chubby kid pulled his feet back. Yin Yu went back to grilling the meat, but just as he turned to pick up some more, the impact from behind hit